What's up, YouTube? It's Clash Cory, and today we're going over the best and the worst abilities in Clash Mini. That's right, we're gonna do the top 10 best and the bottom 10 worst abilities in the game. That way you know which ones to really focus on, what ones give you the most value for your elixir. So let's do it. By the way, I know some of you care about this. I'm in the top 10. I've played a lot of games of Clash Mini, and I have a high win rate, so I think I'm relatively safe to make this list. And also, if you guys really like this video, let me know down below if you want me to do a full tier list for abilities where I rate every single ability per tier, but it would be a lot of work, so let me know if that's something you really want. All right, let's start with the top 10 best abilities in Clash Mini, and we're not doing this in any particular order. They're just all in the top 10. I'm not ranking them. Oh, and by the way, I'm just gonna put up some top ladder gameplay to show while we're doing this. But we're starting off with the Archer's first ability, doubling her damage for only 2 elixir, and also being able to target another really important unit. One of the main reasons the Archer is good is because she can target those backline units that are kind of hard to target. Now she can target 2 of them and also doubles her damage for only 2 elixir. This is a clear top 10. And by the way, her third ability is also really good, but it's not quite in this top 10. It was just below. Now the Miner has some really good abilities, and in fact, he has 2 abilities in my top 10, both backstab, allowing him to double his damage, and then cleave, allowing him to potentially triple his damage. Both of these are insane, and they both only cost 2 elixir as well. It allows him to become such a strong threat where you literally have to place all of your backline units, and even you have to put frontline units in the back just to deal with the Miner because of these upgrades. It just makes him insanely strong. Another really amazing ability in Clash Mini is the P.E.K.K.'s second upgrade, allowing the P.E.K.K.A to gain block at the start of the battle. Block alone is a really good ability, and putting the P.E.K.K.A as the frontline tank where almost everything is targeting the P.E.K.K.A, you can cancel out around 10 damage, in a good day, and that's an amazing amount of just like tanking. Just makes the P.E.K.K.A easily one of the best tanks in the game. It doesn't have a stun like some other tanks, but otherwise, it's a really good ability. Next up, we have the Prince's third ability, True Friend. When the Prince dies, he gets a little pony. The pony has 6 health, and every attack the pony does interrupts and pushes back whoever he's attacking, which is insane. What? First of all, whenever the Prince dies, that pony, no one is attacking it because it just lost all aggro of whatever it was because, he died, right? So there's someone new, but also because it has pushback and interruption, that alone is insane. And also his move speed, thankfully, is not too slow, so he actually attacks quite a lot. So he'll interrupt you, go again, and hit you again. It's just like, it's way too good, but I love it. Now the 6th ability on the list, not number 6, just number whatever, you know what I'm saying, is the Lumberjack's third ability, allowing you to cast Rage at the start of the battle. Can be crucial for out damaging your enemy way faster than they can damage you. Even if they have the same units, but they don't have the Lumberjack, all of a sudden, you just win alone because of this. And also he can use it to where it hits himself too, so then he's also getting that second rage faster as well. But I mean, seriously, this ability is the difference between your Electro Wizard or Musketeer or Archer Queen supering before the enemies, or even allowing your Archer to pew pew even faster. It's really good. Next up is the Giant Skeleton's second upgrade, and ironically, even though the Giant Skeleton got nerfed, those nerfs actually made the second upgrade even more important. It didn't necessarily get better, but it provides more value because now that there's a delay on that bomb, this upgrade ensures that you're really going to be getting that hit with your bomb and you're getting the damage associated with it. But it's really the stun plus the minor damage that just makes it so good. And this makes it cover almost the whole map. It's an insanely good upgrade. Next up on the list is the Wizard's second ability. This, seriously, as far as damage per elixir, this might be one of your best upgrades you can possibly do in Clash Mini. I mean, first of all, the Wizard is a unit that's really good versus tank frontline enemy units. Now, if there's not a lot of tank frontline units, you probably shouldn't be playing the wizard and upgrading it a lot. But if there is, this becomes insanely good and can seriously just melt down enemy frontline. Now, in a similar tone, the Ice Wizard's second ability, allowing the Ice Wizard to deal AoE splash and damage. This is a really good ability as well. Just slowing down multiple enemies, but also the small extra damage is definitely helpful. And honestly, I almost didn't put this on the list. And honestly, this is maybe the worst of the 10 abilities on the list, but I do think it deserves consideration and should probably be in the top 10. And the last ability in my top 10 is the Dark Goblin's second ability, allowing the Dark Goblin to possibly stun with every attack. It's a 1-second stun, but combine that chance with the Dark Goblin's crazy fast attack speed that just keeps on getting faster until you get to 10 stacks. I mean, the Dark Goblin becomes a literal machine gun, and it doesn't allow you to do anything. Like, this is a clearly crucial upgrade for the Dark Goblin, and it provides a lot of value in general. By the way, besides the Archer third ability, the other ability I was strongly considering for the top 10 was the Musketeer's third ability. While I do think it's really good, it wasn't quite important enough for me to put in the top 10. Let's pretend it's number 11 or so. Now for my bottom 10 worst abilities in Clash Mini, do not do these upgrades. Okay, Big Mama P.E.K.K.A, I am sorry. You did have one of the top 10 abilities, but now you have two of the bottom 10. That's right. Both her first and her third ability are in the bottom 10 for me. I'll explain them first one at a time. All right, let's start off with the first ability. Keep in mind, the P.E.K.K.A has a small chance of dealing ×2 damage. Well, that first ability makes it go from ×2 to ×3. But the problem with this, you're spending 4 elixir, and to be honest, there are a lot of matches where the P.E.K.K.A does like 2 attacks, or maybe 3. And it's already a small chance of this happening. You can easily spend that elixir and for multiple rounds not activate this once. So, do you think this is a good upgrade? No, if you have to upgrade the P.E.K.K.A because you really need tanking, well, you'd go for this one and just stop. Don't do anything else. Spend it somewhere else. And similarly, the reason the third ability is a bad upgrade is, yes, the P.E.K.K.A can do high damage per hit, making it possible for her to get kills. The reality is it's too infrequent and it's too rare for it to really be that good of a thing. Yeah, technically you could do all 3 upgrades and she might never die, but the problem is the P.E.K.K.A just moves too slow. If the P.E.K.K.A moved like twice as fast, then maybe, because then she could move across the field and like actually reach a target in time to, you know, attack them. But in reality, like once she has to move, she's probably never getting a kill again. So it's really, just don't do those. Also in my bottom 10 is the Bowler's first ability, his super ability. Oh, it's so bad. Why is it so bad? Because you'll never even get to use it. And his attack speed actually got nerfed just recently as well, so it's going to be even harder. Even if you put it on Electro Valley tile, which also got nerfed, by the way, making this even worse again. Not that it's really about the Bowler super, but seriously, the only reason this is a bad ability is because you'll just never get the super, or maybe you will, maybe in rare scenarios, but even then, by the time you have it, the battle's probably almost over and you're not really getting a very valuable super. You might be hitting like 1 mini at most. So by the time you get any value from this, it's just like not very helpful. But you're almost never even getting this super off anyways. So yeah, that's why it's really bad. Another horrible upgrade is the Magic Archer's third ability. I don't really feel like I need to explain this one too much. I mean, the bottom line is there's just not many shields at all in Clash Mini. I think they originally intended there to be more minis with shields. It just didn't happen. So this ability ended up being basically worthless. Also, my bottom 10 is the Musketeer's second ability. If you're upgrading the Musketeer, please do the third ability, and if you really need to keep upgrading, go for the first one. Those are both good options, but the second ability just doesn't really make sense for the Musketeer. She's already the highest health backline unit in the game, first of all. And second of all, even if you have this ability and you get the boast, you can still die to a miner who's doing backstab. And keep in mind, in the example clip I'm showing, the miner was the only thing attacking the Musketeer. So imagine there could have been an archer, there could have been an archer queen, whatever, there could have been other stuff. And also the Musketeer's just not very good at killing. Like, yes, you can upgrade her super so it attacks 2 people, and then it does 3 damage to 2 people. Woo! Like, yeah, that might get some kills sometimes, but it's not going to be very consistent. And in general, the Musketeer is just not a good a unit to have a boast ability, really. Not that she's horrible, just not a good option. All right, now I will admit I'm a little unsure on this one, but honestly, it's a really weird ability and it just hasn't found much use. And that's the Mega Knight's third ability, Shockwave. It pushes enemies back. Now, theoretically, this could be really good for the Mega Knight, so I will say maybe later on I'll end up being wrong, but at the moment the Mega Knight's just a bad unit and the Giant Skeleton is just better in every way. And honestly, this ability, it sounds like if you push them back, then you can super even further up the map. That sounds really good, but in reality what ends up happening, what I found, is you push them back and then they just come right back, and it doesn't even interrupt their attack. So, not all the time, like nothing happens, but a majority of the time, it felt like I just wasn't getting any value out of like spending 4 elixir on this. So, it's just not very good. Another really bad upgrade in Clash Mini is the third ability of the Ice Wizard. This ability puts the Ice Wizard in a really weird situation of where you kind of want it to die, and that is not really a good thing. You know, unless you're the Giant Skeleton, but the problem is this makes it a mini Giant Skeleton for 4 elixir at best. Even if this is the only upgrade you do, it's a mini Giant Skeleton that does 0 damage as well. So in reality, this just doesn't make sense. Like really, you want the Ice Wizard to stay alive to keep on slowing the enemy. So this is just way too impractical of an upgrade. The Barbarian and his first ability allowing his rage to stack indefinitely. Now he can already stack up to 10 times without this ability. So my problem with this is now technically this could be the third ability you do for Barbarian, right? If it's the last one you're doing, maybe it's justifiable. But the problem is you're spending 2 elixir on this and you literally get 0 value for a large portion of the fight. He's not going to even activate this ability until after he's already done 10 attacks. It's not like it's 3 attacks or something. Like seriously, by the time he's done 10, there's honestly a lot of fights he never even does 10. So you're spending this elixir and you might never ever get any value. And you probably saw this one coming, but similarly the Dark Goblin's first ability, which works basically the exact same, where he also has that rage and this allows it to go indefinitely. But again, this is even more expensive of a unit, so you're spending 3 elixir and you literally get 0 value until there's already been 10 attacks done. I mean, again, if it's the third upgrade you're doing and maybe the Dark Goblin's the best unit in the game, then okay, fine. It might be justifiable, but seriously, it just takes too long to get value and it's not good enough. By the way, just because these are the bottom 10 abilities in the game, it doesn't mean they're worthless abilities. It just means compared to all the other abilities in the game, they don't provide nearly enough value. The goal of any upgrade is to make that unit stronger, and these upgrades just don't quite do that much. Now for this last ability in the bottom 10, I will admit there was a lot of other upgrades that I was considering, and it was kind of hard to decide, but I ended up settling on the Mini P.E.K.K.'s third ability, and honestly it's for similar reasons as the P.E.K.K.A. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. has a really slow attack speed, and he's a melee unit who only attacks 1 enemy at a time. Boast abilities are good on units that can attack multiple units at a time or attack really fast. So like the Archer's Boast, the Miner's Boast, even the Valkyrie's Boast and the Dark Goblin's Boast are the only boast abilities I would ever upgrade in the game. And all the others I don't think are worth it. But I think the Mini P.E.K.K.A's Boast is one of the worst ones because of just how slow the Mini P.E.K.K.A's attack speed is, and it only attacks 1 unit at a time. It's really easy for the Mini P.E.K.K.A's kills to get stolen. You can deal 6 damage or 4 damage, and then boom, 1 health left, kill gets stolen. It happens. Well, if you enjoyed this, check out more Clash Mini videos right over there. I'm sure you'll also enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.